Welcome everyone. I think you all know me, but my name is Mallory. So today we will be doing, I would call this more of like a core and glutes class with a little bit of HIIT in there. It'll be a lot of more like isolation work, and there'll be no impact today. So we're gonna get started. As always, take what you need, leave what you don't want. Feel free to modify or progress in any way you know. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to interrupt me and ask them. All right, if you have one of the block style items, again, you could do a water bottle, you could do a book, whatever you want. We're gonna lie on our backs in our glute bridge position. So feet are a little bit out from the knees. You can put whatever you have between your legs. If that doesn't feel good, just take it out. Again, you can do a glute bridge without a block. So before you even lift up here, try to find that neutral spine. So you're really pressing that lower back down into the ground, and you'll feel your core start to fire up a little bit. And at the same time, press into those feet, and you can almost imagine that you're pulling them apart. So you'll feel some inner thigh engagement here. And then pressing into those feet, you're gonna slowly lower or lift up your hips. So if you have a block between your legs, try to squeeze them together just a little bit, and you'll feel the inner thighs as well as the glutes engage here. So take a second and take stock. Want to make sure those hips are staying even. You can always take those hands on top of your hips and really press down a little bit to build some tension. Want to make sure that neck is neutral. You're not tucking it too far up or leaning it too far back. And we're just gonna start with some calf raises here. So warming up feet and the ankles. So just lifting the heels up and lowering them back down. Starting a couple of dynamic movements here. Good. All right, so we're gonna start, you can keep that left foot where it is, but you're gonna extend that right leg out straight. And this is gonna be a different movement, especially if you have something between those legs. That left glute is immediately gonna be like, ah, I'm right here. So you can flex that toe in towards you. And even though we're just holding steady here, it's gonna, I mean, at least I'm already shaking a little bit. And you don't want to let that right hip dip too much. So again, maybe you want to check back in with those hip bones and make sure they're staying even here. We'll stay here for 3, 2, 1. You can lower that right leg down. We'll switch to the other leg, extending that left leg out, flexing the toe in towards you. Should be a similar feeling on the right leg, although some people have a stronger glute side. This is definitely easier on the side for me. Good. 3, 2, 1. Coming back into that glute bridge, we're going to do one more thing here. And you can choose how far you want to step out. So you're going to walk that right leg even just a ½ inch away from you. And then walk that left foot a ½ inch away from you. And then walk that right foot back in and left foot back in. If that felt super easy, maybe you want to take it an inch out and walking that leg out. Other leg out. Back in slowly. So you're keeping that block or book or whatever you have between your legs stable, and you're walking in. And that lower back isn't compensating, so really make sure those glutes are dialed up here. Just little movement, stepping in and out. We'll do one more. Good. Once you get back to the middle, you can slowly lower those hips down. And we'll come right into some core here. So you're gonna bring those knees up to a 90-degree angle, and that lower back can stay on the ground here. And you're gonna bring those hands behind your head, elbows pointed up, really pressing down that lower back. You're gonna take an inhale, on that exhale, peeling the shoulder blades up off the mat here. Good, and come down, inhale. Exhale, we're gonna add on this time. You're gonna straighten out that left leg. So your right leg is still bent, toes flexing in towards you. The thighs are still squeezing that block or whatever you have, and lower and bring that leg down. Inhale, exhale, and lift. This time you're lifting up that right leg, flex pressing it in towards you. That lower back is pressing down. Good, back to neutral and down. We're adding on inhale, exhale, and lift, straightening out that left leg. You're gonna internally rotate that heel in. So you're, I guess, externally rotating your knee out and your toes. So just, thighs are still squeezing in here. It's a small movement, just twisting the toes out and back in. One more. Good, you can lower that foot and down. Inhale, exhale, and lift. You're straightening out that right leg, squeezing that block together. So same thing, you're externally rotating the toes, which is bringing the heel in. Again, those shoulder blades are still up. Last one. Good. Last add-on, again, you can take any of those other levels. Inhale, exhale, and lift. That left leg comes up. Again, you can just stick here. If you want to do a little twist to the left, you can add on. Feeling that core fire up. 3, 2, 1, down. All right, last time. On that exhale, lifting up, right leg straightens, toe flexes in towards you. Again, you can twist towards that right if you want to add on the last time. 3, 2, 1, and all the way down. You can take that block out for a second, and you can hug those knees in and just roll side to side or roll around the low back for a second. Try to be as gentle as possible here. And then we'll roll all the way up into a dolphin. So you're gonna bring whatever you had, if it works, back between your thighs here. I guess I'll do it with my Bible this time for an example. So you can bring those hands either straight on the mat, you can bring them together, whatever feels best. And then you're gonna puff some air up in your upper back, drop the head, tuck the toes, and lift up into a dolphin here. So weight is, pretty evenly distributed, and here you're squeezing those thighs together in the same way you did in that glute bridge. Bringing that weight to your right foot, you're just gonna lift that left leg a couple inches up while still squeezing the thighs together, so the toes are maybe 2 inches off the ground, and lower back down. Going to the other side, weight is in the left leg, that right toe lifting a couple inches up off the ground, and back down. So just alternate between squeezing the thighs together and just lifting up a couple inches and alternating back and forth between feet. So it's a super small movement, but the core is engaged, those hands are planted, just hovering a couple inches up and back down. Good, 3, 2, 1. You can bring those knees down, you can bring the block or whatever you had to the side, and you can come into child's pose for a second. If you want it to be a little bit more active, you can keep the hands planted on the ground. You kind of drag the hands back. Feel some opening in the upper back and the chest. All right, hopefully the body feels a little warmed up. All right, we're gonna go into our HIIT sequence. So our interval is gonna be 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. And we'll be doing this for 8 minutes each round. And we have 4 rounds. So our first exercise, there's a couple different options. So option 1 is to do this entirely without any equipment, and that's very doable and honestly very challenging. So you're gonna come onto your left leg, bending that right knee, and I guess level 1 is just doing a normal curtsey lunge. Level 2 is really, really engaging the glute here and bringing that knee behind, and then slowly bringing it back up. And we're not trying to, touch the ground necessarily. You're just trying to hinge those hips back and bring, you can see this is also a balance challenge too. If you want to add on, you can add a block behind your knee or a book or whatever works, and that same movement, except you'll feel the hamstring really firing up because you're having to create that tension between your calf and your hamstring. So those are your options for the first one. So we'll be on that one side for 45 seconds, the second side for 45 seconds. Our third exercise is going to be a push-up with whatever you have. So if you have a block, you have a couple of different heights. So you could have the height here. And again, finding that stable position. You're touching the chest down. Another option, even with a book too, is to come here, or you can flatten it all the way out and come down. Same option if you have your book or your water bottle. And then our final one is going to be a glute lift with any of those options, or you can do it without anything, which is actually very difficult. So you're bringing the knees out wide here, and you're really making sure the lower back isn't taking the weight. If you want to add something between your feet, you're going to be lifting up a couple inches on those glutes and coming back down, lifting up. The glutes are firing here, lifting up and back down. All right. So we're starting with our curtsey lunge. Let me get my timer. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So remembering all of your options here, you can do a normal curtsey lunge, you can do a one-leg curtsey lunge. You're really choosing your level. Just really trying to isolate and concentrate everything here. Even if you're touching the ground, making sure all of those muscles are staying that same level of engaged as when we were in our glute bridge. So we're here for 45 seconds, then we'll have 15 seconds of rest before the other side. Whew. Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. Shaking it out, we'll do the other side. Regardless of where you are, remember you can always add on or take off as you need. 3, 2, 1. One side might be a lot harder than the other side. This is not my good balance side. If you have something between your calf and your quad, making sure you're pressing and engaging here. And we're never about speed. This can be the most methodical lower in the whole world. Remember, you can always do that same movement, but without a block. So with your knee bent, or you can do a curtsey lunge where you're extending back. Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We're coming down into a push-up. So remember your options here. If you want to add a little bit of a base, you can put your block down and try to aim your chest for it. You can also take the block away. Your choice. 3, 2, 1. So shoulders over the wrists. You're really having to keep that core engaged and the upper back muscles squeezing together here. You can do this on your knees or on your toes, obviously. Pressing into the ground. I like to pretend I'm pulling my mat apart. That helps me really get into the chest. Good. 3, 2, 1. Coming all the way down to your stomach. You can bring those knees a little bit wider. If you want, again, you can bring something between your feet. You can also do this without it. It's very difficult on its own. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Remember, you're really trying to keep the weight from your low back. So sometimes it feels better for me to lower my forehead or even put my hands right here. You can even try to pull up the core a little bit. So not just letting the core settle here, keeping it engaged. So you're just lifting those knees a couple inches up and back down. If you have something between your feet, really trying to push them together. At the same time, you're really gripping the core too. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We're going back to the beginning, so back to the curtsey lunge. Remember, if last time didn't work, and you wanted to make it harder, easier, this is a good time to try that out. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So maybe you want to try an easier version, one where you can control more. Maybe you want to try one leg this time. World is your oyster. There's a lot of curtsey lunging on backpacking trips. I don't know if you knew that, but really gotta nail that curtsey lunge. Whew. Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds. My glutes are engaged and ready to go. All right, going to that other side. Last time on this exercise. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Good. Meredith, Isabel, you look rocking. If I were the teacher, I'd give you an A+. Good. Last time here, keeping that core engaged, not letting the lower back just C-curve as you go down. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We're coming to that push-up. So if last time felt super easy, maybe you want to try a lower version for your book or whatever piece of equipment you have. Maybe you want to try a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1. 45 seconds here. So you're basically finding the top of your plank and then hugging those elbows back a little bit. I have a bad habit of locking out my arms at the top, so don't watch that part. Good, 15 seconds left. If you want to finish and try a little bit of a challenge, maybe you want to try getting a little bit lower. We'll see if I can. Good, 3, 2, 1. Coming down onto your stomach. Final 45 seconds of this first round. Again, you can bring something between your feet if you want. Try it once. See how it goes. All right, 3, 2, 1. So really trying to lift up that core a little bit so that you're protecting your low back. You'll notice the low back starts to hurt when you just let the core relax. You're just lifting those knees up a couple inches and back down. Good. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Feel free to grab some water, take a quick recovery. Can't tell if it's just really hot in my apartment or I'm very sweaty. All right, moving on to our next round. So first exercise, you can use that block, you can use a book, whatever you want. You're sitting back on your mat. If we did this last week, if you came to my class and you're hugging one leg in, doesn't have to be a super close hug, but, and then that other leg is cross to cross. And core is engaged, and you're gonna lift that foot up and over the block and back to kind of like a neutral position, and then lifting that leg back over. Try not to just curve here, still keep the chest lifted. And if this feels too high, you can always find a lower version of it. We'll stay on one side for 45 seconds, switch to the other side. Our third is going to be, you have two options. You're gonna put that item on your back. Again, you can do this without a block too. So you'll come to a forearm plank. You can do this on your knees or on your toes. And you're just going to use all of the control in your core to take that hand, grab the block. You can just tap it or reach it to the side, bring it back, and then to the center. Whew. Using the core, you can tap it down, bring it back, center. You can do this on your knees, and you can also just do this imaginarily. So you're here, you can just always tap your back and come back in. Final one, you can do this without a block too. So you can come down onto your forearms. So you'll bring those knees up to 90 degrees. Again, core is engaged. Extending those feet out, you can bring them out and back in, or if you have a block, you can have them come out, lower down, come up, and back in. So whatever feels best to you there is really up to you. Trying to squeeze those feet together so you're getting into the legs and the core. All right, let's go. So starting with the leg over block lifts, we'll start in 3, 2, 1. So flexing the toe towards you, lifting it up and over the block. You'll notice the quad immediately starts to fire up here. I feel this in my hip flexor too. Nice and controlled, trying not to slam the heel down on the other side. This is what a pistol squat feels like to me. Good, 15 seconds. Remember, if you find yourself shrugging, try to lift out of the chest here. Ow! 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. We'll switch to the other leg. Gotta give my quad a quick massage. All right, coming to the other side. That leg is crossing. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So one leg might feel way easier than this side feels way easier than the other side. Nice and controlled up and over. Always fix things however they need to be fixed. Like your block or whatever piece of equipment you have. You can obviously also do this without anything. You can have an imaginary goal. 15 seconds left. I gotta get back into my position. Good, 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds off. We're coming into our plank block switches. So again, you can do this on your forearms or on your knees. And if you want to put something on your back, or you can just tap your back, up to you. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So finding that plank position. If you're using a block or something on your back, you can grab and just tap. You can do whatever you want with it. If you're not using a block, you can just do that same movement, except you're tapping your back. So you're trying to keep the hips as stable here as you can. This is a very controlled movement. Talk about time under tension, am I right? Good, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're ending with those V-ups. So you can come onto your back. You can always do this without anything. Instead, we'll start in 3, 2, 1. So you can bring those knees in, out, down. You're really trying to, again, keep it out of the low back. Core is engaged the whole time here. Again, you can always drop the block and do it without it. Trying to keep that chest lifted, but not swaying the ribs too much. Nice, 10 seconds left. Good, 3, 2, 1. So thinking for 15 seconds, what felt too easy, what felt too hard, where do you want to add on, take off. We'll do that all one more time. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So you're back to that first side if you're doing this again. So another option, I don't even know if I can show you, but it's basically standing on this leg and doing a pistol squat. And that's another option to add on a bit. So you're not trying to crank this knee in, it's more just a stabilizer. 10 seconds. Good, 3, 2, 1. Switching to the other leg. Give my leg that quick massage. All right, coming to the other side. Last time we're doing this exercise. We'll start in 3, 2, find that string, and 1. Nice and controlled here. So remember, this is your class. If any of these don't feel good or you want to modify or progress them, take whatever feels better for you. Good, 10 seconds left. Good, 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds off. We'll go into the plank switch. Again, you don't have to use a block, you can just use your hands. You can always do this on your knees if that feels better. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So finding that control first before you even grab for your back or the block. And here you're trying to basically move nothing but your arm to get that block. Obviously it's impossible to not move anything, but trying to keep the body as stable as you can here. Good, 15 seconds left. Good, 3, 2, 1. Last 45 seconds, we're coming on to our backs. If the block or whatever you were holding between your feet didn't work, drop it. Feel free to do it without. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So again, really trying to get into that deep layer of core here. So not arching the back. And play around with it. If this doesn't feel good, find a different position. You can come all the way down on your back. You can come up on your hands. We got 15 seconds left here. Good, 3, 2, 1. Relax, feel free to grab some water. Halfway through our HIIT series. Is it just me? Like, is it really hot in here? I don't know, maybe my apartment's just hot. All right, so we're back to all of our options. So we're gonna start with a walking push-up. So you have a book or a block, whatever you have, placing it in the middle of your mat. And here you're gonna do the same thing you did on your push-up, except maybe it will be on a little bit lower. So you're coming into that middle push-up, and then you're gonna stack that right hand on top of the block, walk that left leg over, so you're using that core, and you're doing a staggered push-up. You're walking back into the center, doing a push-up, walking that hand up, stagger, push-up here. That's your first one. Your second one, you can do with a block or without. We're gonna be doing an extended bird dog. So we're in that plank position. You're lifting up that right leg and your left hand, core is engaged, and back down, extend, and back. If that feels way too much, you know how to do it on your knees instead. We'll just be alternating. And then if you want that balance challenge, you can put a block on your back and do either of these with a block or a book on your back instead. And then, so option to do this without anything. It'll just be a glute extension. So finding that neutral position, you're just gonna flex and lift up to that neutral and back down. So pretending you're trying to kick into the ceiling, but we're not arching at the top, we're keeping neutral. If you want to add something here, so a little bit more similar to how we started with the curtsey lunges, if you want to add more of a glute engagement, you can add something there. And then we'll do the other side for the last one. All right, so we're going to start with that walking push-up to plank. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So finding that plank position and then finding your push-up. You're stacking hand on top, walking out. Obviously, you can also do this without there being anything in the middle, just like an imaginary. So if you do have something that you're stacking one hand on, it should feel a little bit different than just when your hands are at the same height. We're nice and controlled here. Good. 3, 2, 1. So remember all those options for your bird dog. You can do them from a plank. You can do them from quadruped. You can do it with a block. Million options. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So if you want to do it from a plank, you're just extending opposite hand, opposite foot. This is a very difficult balance challenge. Remember, you can always do it, your bird dog from quadruped instead. And if this all feels easy and you want to add that block or book, feel free to do that. Breathing. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll come into that glute extension. So you can do this without anything, or if you want to add on between that quad and knee again. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So you're just extending that leg up into that 90-degree angle and back down. Those hands are right under your shoulders. Again, you can always just do this normally, extending up and back down. So many options. Good, 15 seconds. Three, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll go to the other side here. I wonder if I can do this with a water bottle. Oh no. Oh man, this is gonna be 3, 2, 1. Oh, interesting. I feel like I'm gonna squeeze it out. So keeping that spine neutral here, hips are even. Good, 15 seconds to go. You can always put your hand on your back for a second and make sure the hips pelvis is staying even. 3, 2, 1. All right, 15 seconds off. We're doing that one more time. So check in, what felt too easy, what felt too hard. Because you get to repeat it one more time. All right, 3, 2, 1. So we're in that walking push-up. Again, trying to find that flat back here. Maybe you want to try this to be more of a tricep push-up this time, so those hands closer together. That's always an option. Good, 15 seconds left. Last time doing this. Three, 2, 1. Coming into that bird dog. So you can be in your knees, on your hands, whatever feels best. Working on some of that core balance. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. I'm like, I don't want to start this. All right. I'm way better at one side than the other one. Whew, 20 seconds to go. Nice. Three, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll end with those glute extensions. So in whatever way feels best here. So you're in that quadruped position. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So extending that knee in 90-degree angle up as far as the hip flexor allows to, so that knee is around equal with your hip. If you find you're just tipping off to one side, really try to make sure the pelvis is centered here. Core is engaged. Last time here. Good, 10 seconds left. Good, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off, last one. I'm pooped. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Extending up to neutral and back down. Maybe you want to slow everything down even more this time and see if you can keep, I guess, engaged the whole way up and the whole way down. Good. Final 10 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. All right, grab water. We have one final round. And then we will do our final challenge. All right, so we're gonna start on our back here. 2 options. So without any block or anything, you're gonna come on your back and you'll bring your elbow up and your leg up. So you're really pressing that low back down. You can bring the hands up. You're basically gonna be doing a dead bug, but just on one side for the whole time. So extending out, back in, extending out, and back in. If you want to add a challenge, you can bring, well, hopefully that elbow up a little bit more, and you can do that same movement, but with the elbow and knee touching, Or if you want to add an extra challenge, you can bring the block or the book between your elbow and your knee. So again, that lower back is pressed down and you're extending out and then back together. So try to keep that knee as much in a 90-degree angle as you can so you're not just pulling that knee back in towards you. So we'll be on one side for 45 seconds and then the other side will switch. If you want to use a block, you can, or again, you're just lifting up here and then staying on one side for essentially a dead bug. And then, yes, bunch of different options. If you have any sorts of weights, feel free to add weights in here too. There's gonna be 2 rounds that are kind of gonna be a wild card for you. And I'm gonna let you choose what you wanna do and I'll show you some options. So if you have a block or a book or even a water bottle, you can be on your knees, you can be standing up, but you're gonna start by basically pushing together, rolling the shoulders back, and you can do extension, so lifting up above your head and back down. You can also bring the hands in, so working more of those biceps. You can come above your head and hug those elbows in. So you're building the tension here for that strength. So a bunch of different options. Again, also another good chest one is bringing the hands together and extending in and out. Those are a bunch of different options. If you have weights and you want to do a more weight-based one, feel free to do that. If you have none of those options, try to just see how engaged you can get by extending out and back in, extending up and back in. It'll be wild actually how much engagement you feel from really holding nothing. There's a million different ways to do this. You could literally do this with a notebook, but really try to squeeze all of those arm muscles together to get that engagement. If there's something you like better, if you want to go back to push-ups or do a plank row, if you have an arm thing that you like more, feel free to do that. All right, but you have 2 free-for-all rounds here that are arm things of your choice. So we're going to start with our core with our block or with just our dead bug on one side. We'll start in 3, 2, and 1. So you can be here with a block or a book and you're extending, keeping that low back down, bringing it back in, or you can take that block out, same thing. You're just extending one side out and back in, and that lower back is really pressed down. If you're arching the back, you're gonna be like, no big deal, this is easy. But if you're really gluing that low back down, it's gonna feel challenging. Good, 15 seconds left. Again, if you have a way to make this more difficult, feel free to take it, or a way to make it easier. This is your final round. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll switch to the other side. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Before you even start, make sure that lower back is pressing down. And you're really firing up that core here. So it's really pressing down. And that's what is controlling this movement, not your hip flexor or your low back. Good, 15 seconds left. Good, 3, 2, 1. All right, remember those 2 free-for-all rounds, whatever you want to do here. So think about what option you want. There's a million. You could also do a tricep dip if you have a bench around you or a chair. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So any of your options here. I'm gonna do tricep extensions. So if you're holding something in your hand, you're really pressing together around that block. You can hug those elbows in if you're doing the tricep extensions, whatever you're feeling here. It's deceivingly difficult just pressing something together. Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. Last one. So you can take a different one. You could take that again. You could do a push-up, tricep dip, whatever you're feeling. And remember, you have 2 more when we do this again. So world is your oyster. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So really pressing together around whatever you're holding. Good. 15 seconds left. Good. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going back to the beginning, back into our dead bugs. Last time. We are almost done. So you can use a block or a book or a water bottle if you have it. If not, we're just doing our regular dead bug. 3, 2, 1. I guess I'll try it with a water bottle and we'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, definitely possible. I didn't even start it. Very good. So again, checking in on that low back. You can do this with your knee bent too instead. That feels better. I feel like I make really weird sounds when I do this. All right, final 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll switch to that other side. Last time. All right, 3, 2, 1. Nice and controlled here. Your leg definitely does not have to lower as much as mine does. If your lower back is peeling off the ground, definitely don't go that low. Prioritize that form first. Good. 15 seconds left. Good. 3, 2, 1. All right, we have those final 2 wild card rounds. So whatever you want to do for those. I think I'm going to do tricep dips on my couch. So remembering all of your options, you can do anything with a block again, whatever you're feeling. We'll start in 3, 2, 1, 45 seconds here. All right, we have that final little push left. Making sure to enjoy the moment. Thinking about how great your body feels right now. Loving the movement. 10 seconds left. Good. 3, 2, 1. We have that final round. So whatever you're feeling here, we'll use my Bible. All right, 3, 2, 1. this is like deceivingly difficult. I feel like I'm gonna pull apart this book. All right, 20 seconds left here. Can you hear Ryan hitting things over there? All right, final 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You made it. All right, we are ending how we have been ending all of ours with our plank challenge. So for those of you who have not done it, aka I think just Meredith. So our plank challenge throughout the summer, we're gonna set a goal and try to slowly make it up towards that goal. If you don't hit it, who cares? Life goes on. But anyway, so I think at this point, everyone has some sort of baseline time. As a reminder, I will say every 30 seconds. So 30 seconds a minute, a minute 30, so on. Let me know when you finish, and we'll go from there. So you can do this on your hands, you can do this on your forearms, whatever you're feeling. You can time yourself if that's easier for you. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. So you're just planking until you feel that form going and then dropping out of it. Never push past when your form is bad. So as we probably know at this point, planks are mostly working on that mental strength as well. So really dialing into how strong your body feels here. Catching your breath, checking in. And you're already at 30 seconds. Holy moly. Feel free to turn on music on your end if that works for you. Good. Good, 1 minute here, 1 minute. So checking in, seeing how you feel, how's that form? Maybe you're thinking about a goal you set for yourself today. Maybe you're thinking about what you're gonna eat for dinner. Maybe you're thinking about puppies or cats or ladybugs. All right, a minute and a half in here. All right, we are at 2 minutes. 2 minutes here. Ow. All right, I see Isabel is done. I'll keep timing. Meredith / McKenna, let me know when you're done, no rush. All right, 2.5 minutes in here. Cool. Okay, I see Meredith is done. Yay, good job, everyone. All right, we are gonna finish with a couple stretches and then we will be done. So you can come on your back. We'll come into a figure 4 here. So you can cross that right leg over your left. If it feels good to just stay here, feel free to stay here, or you can try to press that left knee in. If it feels okay, you can bring your hand behind your left knee, but try not to just crank it in. See if you can use some control to open up that right glute instead. We did a good mix of glutes and arms and core today, so we'll try to hit all of those. All right, you can switch to the other side, crossing that left leg over your right. Same thing if this feels good to keep that foot on the ground, or you can try to press that right knee in towards you and open up that left glute. Getting some opening here. All right, you can bring those feet to neutral and then just start kind of lightly bringing the knees side to side. And then we'll take a second and drop the knees all the way over to the left side, keeping that right foot planted on the ground. So you're kind of pressing into it here to open up that right hip flexor. Maybe you need to move around your feet a little bit so it feels good. If you want to cactus your arms here, you can, but we're trying to still keep that weight out of your low back. But really pressing into that right foot, and you'll feel a lot of opening in the front of that hip flexor. Kind of feels like someone's dragging my knee towards the bottom of my mat. All right, coming back up to the middle, we'll drop those feet over to the knees to the other side. Same thing, except this left foot is staying on the ground and you're pressing. So you're feeling that glute fire up here, and that glute firing up is helping you pull and open up that hip flexor. Good, coming back up to center, we'll come into a seat. You can bring those arms in front of you, and you're gonna kind of concave, I think it's gonna be concave. So pressing those shoulder blades back and opening up that upper back. So pretending that someone's kind of pulling your hands forward at the same time someone's pushing your chest back. So getting a lot of opening feeling around your traps and your shoulder blades. And then a similar kind of movement, you're gonna bring those hands down next to you, and instead of just splaying the ribs, see if you can press down and kind of pull your armpits through your chest here. So feeling some opening in the chest area by pressing down and kind of dragging back with the hands. All right, you can bring one hand, so your right hand down on the ground, and you can reach that left arm over. Still try to keep those ribs tucked and just trying to open up that side. And if it feels good to make this more dynamic and switch back and forth, feel free to do that, or you can stay for a couple seconds on that one side. If you want to come and open up that shoulder a little bit, you can do a couple circles. And then when you're ready, switch to the other side. Or if you're switching back and forth, feel free to keep doing that. All right, when you're ready, we'll just finish with some big shoulder rolls. So getting that whole movement, elbows back. And then you can switch directions, bringing those elbows forward. All right, and then just shake out whatever other movements you need. Get it all out. My head's cut off. I look like the headless ghost. And we are done. Yay. Would love any feedback you have. I'm going to stop recording.